Hi, welcome back to AFTV. Can we make it the gap at 9 at the top? Will it be Arsenal's time? Yeah? League tables may say it's a clash of ambition, but one side's chasing silverware, the other's survival's condition. So sharpen the cannons, let bias be shown, red and white rhythm, but away from home. We're in, yeah?
Wow.
Not bad.
Very good.
Yes.
One of your best ones yet.
Yes!
I've got to say.
Come on, there's a bit of flow in there. A little bit of, you know what I mean? We can make...
Very good, Cecil, but to make it 9, they would have to lose, right, before us.
Let's sit with that, yeah. I thought I had positive, Dan. Listen, we've got the joints there on the preview. I've got Dan and Dan squared. It's going to be a good one. We're going to get into, obviously, it's Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal, a 5:30pm kickoff this Saturday at the City Ground. The Tricky Trees, they're called. I didn't even know that, you know. That's their nickname. The Tricky Trees.
Yeah. I didn't know that either.
Did not know that. But that's who we're playing.
I know they hate being called knots. They
Yes.
hate being called knots.
I don't
Because I
like
did
that.
it the other day, right,
as
with
well.
a Forest fan, Wolfie, big up to Wolfie.
Big up Wolfie.
And I'm like, I put a question up on screen, but I couldn't, to make it easier, I didn't put Nottingham Forest. I just put knots.
Knots.
And the whole question didn't even answer is, I'm not answering the question, you've put knots. I was like, what? They hate
Yeah,
it. They
'cause of
absolutely
Notts
hate
County
it. man,
as
'cause of
well,
Notts
innit?
County, because
Yeah.
it's not in knots. Nottingham is not in knots, what they call it. So, yeah, anyway, that's another
That's
thing.
good. This is what you give. You get information you may not have known on these sort of previews. And we're going to start. I'm going to go straight in. What Arsenal will we get this Saturday? I'll go to you, Dan. Will you get a... And I'm just going to embellish on it a little bit more. So will we get a firing Arsenal full of confidence where we're playing a lower side team at 17th and we go and steamroll them? Or will we get the nervous kind of Arsenal where we overthink, but we're overly confident and say, we'll put one past them and then we just chill and it ends up being a bit of a shaky game. What Arsenal do you think we're going to get this Saturday?
Do you know what, Cecil? I've actually been more worried about this game than the Chelsea game. I was more confident that we'd go and beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge than this Forest game. Reason being is I've got a bit of PTSD from these Forest games.
Go on.
The last 4 times we've played them, we drew last season.
I was going to say, I've got them here, yeah.
Year before that, we won 2-1.
Yep.
Before that, we lost 1-0.
Okay, so the last 5, we've won 4, but we've drawn 1.
No, at Forest away, I'm talking
Forest.
about. At the Forest
You're
ground.
spot on, yeah,
At
true.
the Forest
Okay,
ground, right? I was there in 2017-18. I think it was Wenger's last game. We lost 4-2. Horrible.
I was there, I remember that.
We lost 1-0 in the FA Cup to them with Arteta.
Oh, that was... Was that
No more Reds.
No more.
In the white kit. Yeah. And then we lost to them 1-0 in the league. I think Cooper might have been,
That was last day,
manager.
I think that was last day of the season. I think
I was there at that one as well.
I was there as well. That kept them up.
Yeah.
And I remember them singing, basically, you kept us here. And they was laughing at us.
So
and we didn't win the league.
Horrible stuff, horrible games. And then, obviously, the 23-24 season, which is the season I go to a lot, which makes me believe so much. I know me and Dan have different opinions on this, on us, whether we can go and win the league.
Yeah.
We got 89 points that season. If we get 89 points this season, we win the league. And we went on a great run. And we beat Forest that season. We went 2-0 up. They scored a late goal, but we managed to see it out. I think it's going to be very much like that again. I think it's going to be a 1-0 Arsenal, a 2-1 Arsenal. I do think it's going to be close. Manchester City went there. It took them, an 84th minute goal. They're going to sit in. It's a Sean Dyche side.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tricky. Look, I'm not doing a tie here, but it's going to be freezing cold up there, right? In Notts, yeah? Up at Forest. So it's going to be a tricky game. I don't think we're going to go there and blitz them. Obviously, I'd love us to do that. I think it's going to be a really tricky game, and I'd just take 3 points anyway.
Dan.
Yeah, I mean, Dan's right in terms of the 3 points. That's the most important thing, right? And I said that against Liverpool, although I wanted to be convincing, turned out not to be convincing at all, and we drew. But when I look at the league games against Forest, I more look at games under Sean Dyche, because I know what Forest I'm going to get. Like, Forest are going to be low block. Forest are going to be hard to beat. Forest are going to try and keep the ball away from their goal as best they can, and they won't care how they do it. But also with Forest, what they've got is a little bit of... They've got some secret weapons that you've got to actually look out for. Because like Morgan Gibbs-White, on his day, can score goals against any team. So can Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, quick.
Igor Jesus is a little bit inconsistent, in my opinion, but I do like him. I think he's got something about him that we'll have to definitely keep away from us. And Elliot Anderson's a baller, I've got to say it. So they have got some good players, Forest. But in terms of what Arsenal we get, I think we'll also know what Arsenal will get, which will be a very dominant possession-based team that has to be kill teams off. And I think in the last few games, I've been a bit frustrated that we haven't been able to do that.
Agreed.
So that's where I'm looking at the next step. I don't think it's a negative. I just think it's the next step we've got to get to. I think this attack has proved it can score goals, but I don't think it's proved yet that it can convincingly kill teams off. Because I look at the games and I think we were absolutely brilliant against Atletico Madrid and Bayern Munich in the Champions League at home, and we were really good against Spurs. But other than that, I haven't really seen Arsenal go and blitz a team yet in terms of 4s and 5s. And when you look at where Forest are at and they're struggling, and you look at where Arsenal are at and we're flying, you'd think it would be, 4s, maybe 5s against this. Yeah. It doesn't work out like that with this Arsenal team. It never does.
Hasn't done that.
And I'd like us to do that. I think we need to go to that next level. I think we're good enough now to know we can win games. I need to see us win games convincingly so that we aren't going into these games thinking, this might be a tricky one. Shouldn't be a tricky one. Let's just say how it is. This should not be a tricky game. But we know it will be, not just because of Forest making it hard, because Arsenal haven't really shown, even like against Chelsea in the League Cup, we should have won that game convincingly.
100%.
And we weren't able to. So that's always going to be a little bit of Achilles heel until we get past that, in my opinion.
100%. I think that's literally why I asked the question what Arsenal are going to get, because you're right. I think the last blitz, and obviously people go to that Villa game at home. That's where we took it to them. But apart from that, you look at, we do a good 45 minutes every now and then. I mean, the only time I didn't see that was Liverpool with the draw. We didn't lose, but there was a whole 90 of Arsenal not really playing good at all. Apart from that, like you said, we let teams kind of back into games. Chelsea is a prime example of that. We should have, with that 11 they had, we should have smoked them. Yeah. But we ended up being 3-2. Listen, it's still advantage Arsenal. I'm not going to complain about it, but that's what we want to see Arsenal go and be what they are. We're going for the title. Go and show you're going to go and win this title. And Nottingham Forest should be a team that you should just brush by. They're 17th, people. They're 17th. They're struggling. And I like that you mentioned Sean Dyche. We're going to talk about him a little bit later in this preview. But quickly, can you rest players for this game? If we want to see a dominant Arsenal and just to go and roll them over, but can you rest? But are you looking at this and saying, do you rest players in this game? This is going to be the third away game in 3 different competitions. Obviously, the fourth will be Inter Milan, where you can rest players as well. Would you be saying, like a Gyökeres, he's just scored, got an assist against Chelsea, his confidence might be up. Are you starting him or are you bringing in, we saw Havertz come on, Jesus is still there waiting in the wings. There will be a Predicts 11 video, of course, but for you boys, are you resting players in here or are you saying you're going to City ground and you're going full strength?
Okay, I'll go first. I think we forget how privileged we are now to be talking about conversations like this, because we weren't able to do that a couple of seasons ago.
100%.
Nobody's wanting to bring in Tavares or Lokonga or Fabio Vieira or Reece Nelson.
We actually saw that.
Players,
we saw that in that Forest game that we lost in the cup.
Precisely.
That was
we tried to do that, right?
Man, yeah.
A lot of the time it was, we have to play this, we're going to stay fit, we can't get him injured, I'd love to rotate him, but there ain't no one. Now we're lucky that we can actually say that these players are coming back and we've got that conversation on our hands. I said to judges, I would have rotated against Portsmouth, gone strong against Chelsea, gone strong against Forest, and then rotate against Inter Milan. That's the way I'm sticking by it. I think we have to go strong again in this game because it's massively important. Some are saying it's as important, if not more important, than the Chelsea game, right? So when I look at that perspective, I think we have to go strong here, and then I do think that we rotate in the Inter Milan game because we don't have to win that game. We just need to beat Kairat, with which I will say, again, a rotated side, because we should be rotating against them.
Yeah,
what we've got to do is beat them at home with a B team, which I think Arsenal are good enough to do. And the Champions League's done first or second for us. And then we get that home leg where we want it in the next round, right? So that's why I think that's important. I think it's really key that we rotate in those games as opposed to going, let's play the B team against Forest and then just hope that we're better than them. I think we need to ensure that we're better than them by killing them off and putting in our strongest team. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Twofold question. That question is, can we rest players? And then, is this game more important than the Chelsea game? Because you said you were more worried about this game. Does that worry come with?
Yes.
It's more important. Yeah.
Yes. For me, it is. Yes.
Lie on me.
It is.
You want to start?
Listen. This Premier League. The players have been on this journey. Arteta's been on this journey. Man. It's been a 6-year journey. As a lot of negative Arsenal fans like to point out, we've spent 1.3 billion or whatever it is. I don't think this team, we haven't been on this journey to go and win just the Carabao Cup. Now, I want to win that Carabao Cup because I think it will springboard us and give us more confidence to go and win the Premier League. In fact, it looks like if we go through, we're going to be facing Manchester City. But Cecil, it goes either way. Because if we beat Manchester City in a final, psychologically, I think that's it. I think we're going to the promised land. Right? We are. However,
I like that energy.
No, it's true. However, if we were to lose, God forbid.
Wait, what's the promised land? Because I'll be honest, that to me sounds, bro, we're doing it all.
We're doing it all. We're doing it all, Cecil.
Quadruple set.
We're doing it all.
The promised land. I'll be honest.
Listen, Cecil, look.
Because the promised land an FA Cup and Carabao Cup. It's all.
Let's say we go through. March 22nd is the final.
Yes, correct.
We win that. Yeah?
Yep.
And we're still 6 clear in the Premier League. The quad is very much on, my guy. Yeah?
The title's there.
I'm telling you, listen, these players, I've always said I'd rather...
I just want one. What's for this guy? Look, we all want 4, right? But
yeah. I've always said that I'd rather the Champions League in years gone by, you know, but this season I want the Premier League because these players, they've come so close. They've 38 over 38 games. I wouldn't even count last season too much. I call that half a title race. But the 2 previous seasons, the first in 2022-23, we were leading for 97% of the season, and obviously everyone, the famous bottling or whatever you want to call it. We had the youngest squad in the league then. Arteta was in, I think, only his 4th season as a manager then. The season after 23-24, that's the season for me, even more. We got to 89 points, 28 wins, the most wins in the club's history, 91 goals, the most goals in the club's history. If we can, that second half of the season, we did start smoking teams. Yeah. I remember beating West Ham 6-0. Yeah. I remember Sheffield 6-0. We put 5 past Chelsea 5-0. We really did step it up. And I think Kai Havertz could be the catalyst to that, coming into this team. However, this game against Forest, Gyökeres has just scored. He's got an assist. I don't think Havertz is quite up to full fitness yet to go and start against Forest. So and Gyökeres, he did have a brilliant game. So for me, he starts with changes. Listen, if Martinelli come in for Trossard,
you're cool with that.
I'm all right with a change like that.
Fair.
The back 4, probably. It's a tough one, isn't it, with the back 4?
Yeah, does Lewis Skelly go back in? Do you keep Timber in that left?
Is Ben White, can he play 3 games in a row? Because last time Arteta did that, he did get injured.
Yeah.
So,
that's a good point.
I mean, 1, 2, 3 changes, okay.
Okay. Let's do Gyökeres talk, because you brought him up. Come on then, people. I think a lot of fans, especially in the stands yesterday, I'm telling you, they were dying for Gyökeres to score. And some fans, I'll be honest, have given up on him. Some fans, they've already said he's not it. They've put that nail fully down. They're saying it's done. I'm not going to change my opinion. Some are still, many are still wanting him to score, wanting to succeed. Not saying that they don't want him to succeed, but they just said he's not the player that I thought he was going to be. But some players are some fans are saying, stick with him. He got his goal, he's got his assist. Some people are looking really deep into it. The whole Saka could have crossed first time to him. Didn't. Did the overlap.
Can I just touch on
Ben White? Yeah, and then he got. It seemed like he was frustrated at Saka, and that's probably epitomises a lot of his time here. The ball's not going to him when he's in the right positions. So where are you guys at? Are you confident that he's going to click? Are you waiting for him? You mentioned Havertz there can be the saviour. So where are you both at? Let's start on it, Dan. You want to say something?
No, I just wanted to touch on what you just said. Sorry if I cut you off, Cecil, but what you said about the reaction.
Yeah.
I saw after, obviously we was doing the watch along, so you don't hear and see all the commentary and that, but after I went home and watched it, what Hasselbank and them lot were saying, it was good to see that reaction. Cool. I haven't seen enough of that at Gyökeres. He was pissed off at Saka. Yeah. Pass the ball. That's what a striker should be doing. Because it almost looks like he came to Arsenal and was like, I'm at this big club. His face, he looked looked pale in the face. He just doesn't look like a man of confidence. Yeah. And I feel like that changed when he got that goal. But I also have been here before, when he got 2 goals against Atletico Madrid. I thought he was going to push on, and he didn't really push on. Listen, it's a hard... It is really tough for Gyökeres. You know, it's really tough because I want him to... If you could have asked me yesterday, pick one player to score, I'm choosing Gyökeres.
Yeah, I think if
you're going to say someone's going to get the winner on Saturday, I'm choosing Gyökeres. I want this guy to have lift off because he probably has the potential as a goal scorer to score the most goals. But I'm not sure he will. Like, I think this season he might end up with 10 goals and we could even win the league. But I could still see him ending up back on loan at Sporting Lisbon.
Fair. Dan.
Look, let's be real. If we do win the league and he scores 8 goals, I'm not going to care. If I'm honest with you, right? So we won the league.
No one's talking about his goal count right now because we're winning games.
No, because we're winning games. I don't think it's a bad thing either to say we might have got this one wrong and we might need to move on in the summer and get somebody else. I mean, Chelsea have done that a lot, right? They did it with Torres, they did it with Shevchenko, they did it with Radamel Falcao, they've done it with Higuain, they've probably done it with Aubameyang, to be fair as well. So they've always moved on if it hasn't been right. And I don't think it's wrong for teams to do that. So maybe Gyökeres isn't going to come in and get numbers. He certainly was never going to come in to be a Haaland, like some people have 50 goals a season. He's never going to do that, right? So I always felt like he was going to score more goals than Kai Havertz. He might not. He might not be able to get the tally that Kai Havertz got. But one thing I will say is I don't really watch like a lot of the analysis after the games, but there was something Jamie Redknapp said which I thought was absolutely key. Now, I'm one of these guys who's kind of not given up on Gyökeres. I want him to do well. I've not been convinced by him. I've not been convinced that he's the upgrade we needed, right? But I will actually agree with something Jamie Redknapp said last night, which was Bukayo Saka is down the right-hand side and he rarely beats his man and swings it in. He's always cutting it in for a cross. Martinelli rarely beats his man and crosses it in. He cuts inside and crosses. But Ben White, last night, beats his man and crosses, and guess who's there? Eberechi Eze against Forest beats his man and crosses it, guess who's there? So maybe we're looking at a gunman, a killer, a fox in a box, and we're not using a fox in a box, we're trying to cross it. Now, I'm not saying he can't get headers because he's a tall geezer and he should do more. But I think we need to be putting those crosses across the box. And Noni Madueke, to be fair to him, when he's done that, Gyökeres has looked more like scoring when he's been in crossing those balls in. So I'm starting to wonder now whether it's a bit of both. Maybe he isn't the guy, but also maybe we're not playing to his strengths either. Because if we're just whacking balls in and hoping that he can get something on it, which, let's be real, he has been getting his head banged, been looking great at times, I think what we might need to do is look at more beating our man and crossing into the box to be there. So I'd like to see a little bit of both, and I'd like to think that it is a little bit of both, because the system stuff is definitely an issue. Because Jesus, I think, is showing more in that system. Marino has showed more in scoring in that system. Kai Havertz, people are already saying in the last couple of games, has showed more than what Gyökeres has done. I think that might be a bit much, in my opinion. I don't think he's played enough yet. But I think Gyökeres, for me, is someone that I believe the manager is going to stick with.
Yeah, he wants to make it work.
He does. I think Kai Havertz might come in and he might be that guy.
Yeah.
But I think for now, Gyökeres is going to be the nine.
It's interesting. I'll defend both sides. I have seen times where, like you said, Noni or Saka, they flashed it across the box and there's no one been there at times. So that has happened in the past. But you're right. I think he does make a point that Saka sometimes does look to find Odegaard, do intricate passes on this instead of putting it in the box. Maybe first time. And same with Martinelli at times. Even though they do it the first time, Gyökeres could be there, but I think sometimes that chance gets taken away because they're doing an extra touch, trying to do an extra pass and then putting it across the box, and then he's not in the right position. Now, Sean Dyche, you mentioned him. I look at Forest. You mentioned some good players. I've looked at them. They haven't been great this season, but I kind of went to Sean Dyche, look at the teams that he's managed and have they caused us problems. Burnley, we kind of really dealt with Burnley every time we kind of played them, even when he was the manager there. When he was at Everton, though, there has been. If I remember, he had they've caused us problems. I don't know if he's been the manager there, but I'm sure he has been.
Lost 1-0.
Exactly.
That was his first game, manager bounce.
Yes, thank you. So I was like,
banging the title race as well.
There you go. So that's where and Everton. They had quality at that time, but Forest do. You mentioned they got guys like Callum Hudson-Odoi, Morgan Gibbs-White. They got Anderson. They got good players in there. So, do you see, or does anyone? Can one of you two break it down on where you see Forest could potentially hurt us? Is there a way? Is it the low block? How can they hurt us, or do you just see there's no way? I don't care what happens. Arsenal 2 Dortmund.
Of course they can hurt us.
Yeah,
for sure. Morgan Gibbs-White is a special talent. Anderson's been playing, even like he's fallen. He's not been as good as he was at the start of the season, but he's a good player. Hudson-Odoi can cause issues. And Igor Jesus, is it Igor Jesus his name?
Jesus, yeah.
He's very impressive. He's scoring goals. I watched him in the game, I think against Wrexham, he scored.
Yeah.
But look, Forest, I think they've won 3 out of the last 9 games.
They've won 1 in their last 5.
One in their last 5, and that was against West Ham, who
correct.
everyone seems to be beating. Look, like you said, Cecil, we should be going there and beating them, but they have got players. They are decent players, these players. That listen, the Premier League, most teams have players that can cause you problems, but we've got the best defence in the league. So really, I do back us to go there and get a clean sheet.
Oh,
I do back us to go there and get a clean sheet. I'm not sure if we're going to do predictions, but
we will at the end.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end. But I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but I expect us to get the 3 points.
Can they hurt us? Will it be is it a comfortable win, or is it going to be a nervy game over at Sea Ground?
I hope it's not a nervy game, bro.
It just feels like every game is.
I know it is when you're in a title race, I suppose. But look, let's be realistic. I think we win the game if we dominate the midfield, because the reason that players like Callum Hudson-Odoi and Morgan Gibbs-White are so dangerous, because Elliot Anderson normally controls that midfield, and he normally sprays the ball out and then they go on the counter. They've always had a very good defence. I think last season Forest had Murillo and Milenkovic, who were absolutely superb. They've been a little bit more vulnerable this season. Not great from set pieces, from what I understand as well, which is always a bonus for Arsenal. But when I look at the scenario, I think if we dominate that midfield, which I think we will with Rice and Zubimendi, who I think deserve a mention, by the way. I think they've been unbelievable for us this season. Zubimendi was my player of the match against Chelsea. I thought he was unbelievable. He's everywhere. And Rice, who had a quieter game for Declan, has just been brilliant this season.
As soon as he come off, I'll be honest with you. It's just when they started to score.
Well, that's another thing. I'm coming off a Havertz wasn't great either, in my opinion. But there we go. That's a match.
I'm with you, Dan. I'm honest.
So we concede straight away. Oh, brilliant. Well done.
You've got a bit more attacking and put the people.
I don't want to see that guy in midfield, please. I've had enough of that guy in midfield. So
who's that in midfield?
Kai Havertz.
Oh, Kai Havertz. Oh, yeah.
Can't be dealing with him in midfield, man. Yeah. So frustrating. But look, I do think we dominate the midfield, we win the game. And I think we should be dominating the midfield as well. They've got a good midfield. Sangare is a very good player. I think he's been quite underrated for them. Obviously, Elliot Anderson's a baller. I don't think he'll be at Forest for much longer, if I'm honest. So they can hurt us, but it's for us to make sure that they don't. And I think Arsenal defensively have been pretty good. I actually think that, talk about squad rotation, I'd keep that back four. I'd keep that back four.
Really?
Because I would at left back, because I think Ben White's been very good, and I love Miles Lewis-Skelly, but he hasn't had the best of the last couple of games, and I truly believe he's a box-to-box midfielder. I really do. And he's playing midfield anyway when he's at left back. Actually, might as well just make him a midfielder. So that's what I would do. So yeah, man, I think we keep it solid, dominate the midfield, and I think we can win the game.
All right, well, I got the pleasure of catching up with Ant from Forest Fan TV, and I'm going to ask him the same question as where can Nottingham Forest hurt Arsenal? Obviously, he is actually quite fond of Arsenal, which is nice, and rightly so. We should have quite an okay relationship with Nottingham Forest, because they actually gave us our colours. If you look at the history of where the red and white came from, it actually came from them as well. So yeah, let's hear what we had to say from Ant from Forest Fan TV. Yes, Ant, thank you for joining me from Forest Fan TV. Now, I know you're a die-hard Nottingham Forest fan. I know you go to home and away games, and you've been doing it probably from before I was born, if I'm honest. But let's just before I was born, I'm sure. Let me get your thoughts then, just around this game briefly. Are you going to be there? Are you any sign of confidence in this game this Saturday?
Yeah, well, I am majorly anti-Dyche. I think the guy is an absolute travesty to football, if I'm honest. Wow. And I've been to every Forest home game for as many years as I can remember. And I'm actually striking on Saturday. I'm not going for the first time. It's going to be strange, it's going to be weird, but I cannot put myself through this anymore. I really can't. It's disgusting. The kind of football, the kind of tactics, the mismanagement of the squad from Dyche, it's just unbearable. It's painful for me, and I just don't want to do it. And I know quite a few other Forest fans that feel the same as well.
No, I understand what I was going to say, because like Forest previous seasons, most recent seasons, have actually had quite good runs. Now they're sitting 17th. Obviously, you went out, lost to Wrexham recently, which I think, I'm sure for many Forest fans might have been the final straw, because that must have been a frustrating watch as a Forest fan. But obviously the game is Saturday, 5:30 p.m. kickoff at your ground, and you said obviously you're not going, but I need to know from you, is there a way you see potentially Forest hurting Arsenal? Is there anywhere that they could exploit Arsenal, or do you not see, especially with Dyche in charge, any chance of that?
Well, as you know, in previous seasons, we've managed to play well against the top clubs, of which Arsenal is obviously one. And, every Forest fan has a little tiny bit in his brain that's called hope, Yeah. But I'm afraid even that, with me, has disappeared this season. We've seen so many poor performances. We have such a good squad, a squad that shouldn't be 17th in the league. And that can only be, in my opinion, put down to one thing, and that's the management of the squad. If you've got good players and your team is playing poorly, what else is there? So for me, it's 100% down to Dyche, the way that we're playing. We're awful, and we're boring. You can put up with boring if you're winning.
Even at home in the City ground, you say, you've been really, because like you said, every time we've gone there in the past, Arsenal, and you guys have been, you've actually
even in the Championship. Yeah, even in the Championship, we beat you. But it's just the way. And I'm not alone. I mean, I go down there, as I say, every single game up until this one, and you hear, don't you, from other fans? You hear mumblings, and there's no positivity there. Everybody's just fed up. Last season was such a wonderful season for us, and I think we bought quite well in the summer. Some of our signings were very positive.
Great.
And it's just gone downhill. We're back to where we were under Cooper, playing awful football. But under Cooper, we won 3-0 at Liverpool this season away. And now Liverpool are terrible. They're terrible, right? I mean, I know you guys drew with them last week, but which was a shock.
No, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, but even so, it shows that we've got some sort of ability in our squad if we can go up and beat Liverpool 3-0. I'd mentioned beating Tottenham as well, but that's not really nothing to brag about, is it? There's no flex there, you know. So, I mean, but you know, we've lost twice to Everton in the last 6 weeks. Not only lost to them, Cecil, but the way we played was so appallingly bad. Players that we know have got talent, players that we know that can flourish going forward, players we know that can pass the ball around and create patterns of play that are pleasing on the eye and successful. None of it. Even Elliot Anderson. I'm sure that most people have seen the way that Elliot Anderson has come on under Forest.
Yep.
It's going down. His performance are getting gradually worse and worse and worse. You know?
Well,
Douglas Luiz can't get a look in.
Yeah, why
even
is that?
Murillo and Milenkovic.
He's a good player as well. You got good players.
Yeah, let's say
it's the manager.
last season, Murillo and Milenkovic and Sells were part of a back, and Williams as well. Williams, he's the one that has kept his levels up. They were superb last season. I was so confident when we played you guys. I remember saying to you, "Well, are you going to score against us?
Yeah.
Say what you like. Are you going to score against us?" You know, now we've gone from having one of the top 2 or 3 defensive records against corners in the league to I think we're second from bottom. Now that's got to be coaching. It can't be the players. It has to be coaching. So I don't. Yeah, going back to your question 10 minutes ago. I don't hold out. I don't hold out a lot of hope, as you can probably gather.
Well, that's it there. That's it there. And like, I thought I wanted to ask you any insight that I wouldn't know as an Arsenal fan. Obviously, you're with your club week in, week out that you can give us. But what I'm getting is it's probably a good time to be playing for us if the fans aren't too happy with Dyche and like you said, your form's not too good at the moment at all. And the players, like I said, there's good players there. But if you think they're not getting the right, they're not playing the way you'd want them to, probably due to the manager, then it's probably a good time for Arsenal to play for us. Is everyone available? Is there any players that are out that the Arsenal fans might want to know?
There's nobody missing of any consequence.
Okay.
Sangare's back now. Before Sangare went to AFCON, he was our best player. He was superb. Yeah. That last game before he went, when we beat Spurs,
then
I think it was 3-0 or something like that. You know. Yeah. He was fantastic. He was just ruling the roost. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I know that Tottenham's midfield is nothing to shout about, but nevertheless, you've still got to be there, haven't you? And he was super, and he had been previous to that. So we're hoping he's going to be back. Whether Dyche will play him or not, we have no idea. But he could help us a little bit. You know.
Okay, fair.
But again, against your midfield, it ain't easy, mate.
I hear that. Our midfielders, in my opinion, our strength of Zubmeni and Declan Rice have been super.
No, I mean, Declan Rice. Oh. If there's one, there are a lot of Arsenal players that I really rate very highly. But for me, if I could have one, it would be Declan Rice. The guy is extraordinary. You know. That was
gonna be my question. What threat are you worried about from Arsenal? Is there one that stands out to you? I mean,
you know what I'm going to say, don't you? I mean, come on, let's be honest here. I hate talking like this, by the way, because last season I wasn't talking like this.
No, you weren't. I know.
But every bit of hope and joy of the game has been drained from me by this manager. You know, you're all over the place. Your dangers are all over the place, aren't they? Let's be honest. Left wing, right wing, through the middle, midfield, defensively fabulous. I mean, apart from that, we'll smack you up, you know.
I like that. Apart from everything that you're good at, you can beat us. But okay, so like you said, all threats. I mean, like you said, every angle. I think Arsenal. And I'm smiling. I'm cheesing a bit on this side of the camera because it's nice to hear. And even like Liam Rosen, I can
I've lost you.
Right, but he said that Arsenal. They asked him about set pieces. Are you worried about them?
You're back. I lost you for a minute. I lost you for a second.
Well, yeah. So I was saying, Liam, the Chelsea manager, said he got asked, "Are you worried about Arsenal set pieces?" And he said, "I'm worried about everything from Arsenal." And you kind of said the same thing at like. Arsenal can get.
Well, I'd say last season from corners we were great. This season we're atrocious. Now, why is that? You tell me. Yeah, if the same players are there, why are we so bad now? From a so-called defensive manager as well. I don't get it.
That's the thing. That's what I thought. I thought you guys would be. I thought you'd have a bit of confidence knowing that you could probably low block against us and we might struggle against it. But I don't know. Maybe I've kind of changing the tide now. Can I get a score prediction then from you before we close off? And what do you think the score's going to be? Yeah, I don't know. I know you're a big Forest fan. I'm intrigued here. I know you like
4-0 Forest.
After all that breakdown, 4-0.
No, in all honesty, and I've spoken with Wolfie about this as well, and I think I know he's feeling the same. If we can manage to lose 2-0, that would be decent a job for us.
I've gone 1-0, so it'll be interesting to see what the final score ends up being, because if you said 2-0...
I always say, Cecil, it's football. Genuinely, anything can happen in football. We know that, but on this occasion, I'm struggling. I'm really struggling, mate.
Well, listen. Thank you very much, Ant, for giving me the insight for Nottingham Forest as well. And please, everyone that's watching, please go check out Forest Fan TV. Big contributors there around Nottingham Forest. Ant's obviously there, Wolfie as well, a legend when it comes to the fandom of Nottingham Forest. So make sure you go check them out. Please subscribe to their channel, and if you want to know more, that's the place to go around Nottingham Forest. Thank you so much, Ant. Enjoy the game. I know you're not going. I'll try and enjoy the game as well.
Well, at least when it's on television, I can go in and make myself a cup of tea, can't I? I mean, look at that.
True. Listen, take care and thank you so much for joining us.
All right, thanks to Ant as well from Forest Fan TV. Dan, just to close off the Dans, shall I say, we'll do score prediction. Before we do that, just set piece talk, just briefly, because people joke about us. It used to be a gimmick. It actually used to annoy me a little bit. It was like, are we playing for corners? Are we that sort of team? But now, I'll be honest, I relish in it. When we went to Portsmouth, like it showed like how effective they can be. I know we've been scoring from corners for quite a lot this season, but going to a lower league team and it just working like that. First corner, bang, we're in there, we score, we get back off as they went 1-0 up, obviously we got back with the corner. And then again, at Chelsea, like I have my phone out and I'm saying, we score, this is it, 1-0. And they're singing set bit before, and at first, like I said, I thought, it's a bit of a gimmick. Why are we singing when we're getting corners? But now I'm like, get me the corner!
Yes. Facts.
Where are you at? Do you not care? Is it annoying or is it, do you know what? It is a good weapon.
It's a great weapon to have. I mean, look, I think there's two ways of looking at it. You can look at it and say, it's disappointing that Arsenal only score set-piece goals. I actually disagree. I think Arsenal do score open-play goals.
Agreed.
I think it's something you can have in your armoury. I don't think it's the way you should win games. And that was why Stoke used to get bantered, because they couldn't win a game unless Rory Delap was playing and lobbing it in, right?
Fair.
So there's a difference with that. I think it's a part of our game as opposed to being the only way we can score goals. Now, there was a stage where there were own goals and set-pieces going and we're winning games, right? So we were like, oh, God, we actually are winning games here. But I don't think it's been like that throughout the whole season. So I think it's been a part of the way that we score goals. And if I'm honest with you, it makes me laugh, the rival fans that are crying about it. Because if I'm a rival fan, I'm looking at the other 19 teams in the league that are allowing us to score these set pieces. I'm not looking at the one that's doing it. I'm looking at 19 teams going, well, all 19 of you can't stop this going in the back of the net.
And you know it's coming.
And you know it's going to happen. Come on, man. Mark Gabriel, put 2 free man on him if you have. So I'm looking at those 19 teams as opposed to Arsenal. So that's a very different way of looking at it. Some people that are rivals are bitter. I get it. I'll be the same. If it was United doing this, I'll be crying about it as well, right? So I get why they're frustrated. But really, it's the 19 teams to be looking at how people stop us. And across Europe as well, because we're doing them in Europe as well. True. So I think they need to be more on the opposition as opposed to what Arsenal are doing. So that's where I'm at.
Where are you at?
So I love these corners.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I absolutely love these corners, right? Gabriel is my favourite Arsenal player. Listen, Arsenal used to have a soft underbelly. And there was no point even us taking a corner before. We'd never even beat the first man, right? And we used to concede corner after corner. There was a soft touch about us. Now we've got big, strong men that Mikel Arteta has built this team into a team of like, you know Space Jam? Remember the monsters?
Yeah.
Remember when they take their powers and they turn, yeah, I'm telling you now, this is what this Arsenal team's like. I love scoring corners, but I'll tell you what, someone put it in the Super Chat yesterday. 19, listen, this is going by the Super Chat, bro. I think it's true. 19 of the last 23 Premier League goals have been from open play, right? Mm-hmm. So, listen, we've just scored 3. It's a recency thing that goes in people's head. We've just scored 3 against Portsmouth, and then obviously we scored one yesterday. And sometimes we score a set piece and then it kind of opens the game up for us. That is true. Happened against Aston Villa. Gabriel scored the set piece. But listen, Manchester United, when they won the Champions League in '99, how did they win it? 2 set pieces.
It's part of the game.
How did Chelsea win it in 2012? Drogba scored the goal in the final. So, listen, at the end of the day, I think Liam Rossini said it best in his interview. They said, are you worried about Arsenal? They're good at set pieces. He said, no, they're good at everything. We're good at everything. We are good at everything. And listen, it's a great weapon to have. It's a brilliant weapon to have. And listen, when we get a corner, you know, you get a bit excited, like you said, Cecil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You was filming it, right?
Yeah.
I was here at the watch-along doing the exact same thing. I was like, this is going to be a goal now. Marty was calling them penalties. You know what I mean? But you know what I love most about it? My mate rang me the other day and he's like, my friend's a Liverpool fan. He's fuming, Dan. He's going, Arsenal in these corners, man. He goes, it's a cheat code. Like, I love that it makes other fans so salty. I love it. But let me tell you this as well. A Man United fan said in my group chat and was like, oh yeah, set piece FC. Who's the only team that scored more corners than us in this season? Manchester United, when they won the league in 2000, and I think it was 2000, the year after, the Van Persie year, I think it was that year. So like prime Man United. You know, you look at all the best teams. When Liverpool was scoring corners, when we've got their throw-on coach, there's a big song and dance about it now. Well, when Liverpool was doing it, there's nothing. Trent was whipping in corners, they were scoring corners. It's a great asset to have, and I love that it winds other fans up. And I'd love nothing more than I'd take a corner win now, wouldn't you? 1-0 Gabriel against Forest, 3 points in the bag.
Well, what is that? Let's lead on to that then. What is your score prediction for Saturday?
I'm going to go 2-0 to Arsenal. I think we'll score. It'll be a bit cagey again. And then they'll have to come out, and then we'll get a late goal. So I think we'll get an early goal and a late goal, 2-0 Arsenal.
Okay. I'll go 2-1 Arsenal. I think it'll be a nervy few last minutes. That's where I'm going. I think we might go 2-0 up, though. But I think they might get one back in, and then they might make it nervy for us in the last 10. But that's what I'm going to go. I'm going to go with a win, because I think we've got to win this game. We're better than them. I think they will show we're better than them. I don't think it will be another one that we can walk away from thinking, oh, that was quite easy. I think we'll go, let's just get it done, 3 points in the bag, move on. So I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal, bro.
And I'm going to go with my red tinted glasses. We're going to go 1-0 to Arsenal. I actually think 2-0's because you went 2-0, I'm going to pull away from that, because I'm leaning towards 2-0. I can see it being a 2-0 game, but I'm going to go 1-0 to Arsenal. And I just think I want it to be free-flowing and a battering, but every time I do that, I never get that. So I'm just going to go with, 1-0 Arsenal win. We move on, we go to Inter Milan, we fly there, and we go and get that job done as well next week as well. But 1-0 to Arsenal, we've all predicted wins. Let's hope that is the case this Saturday. Before I close off, I want to give a big shout out to Dan and the Football's 12th Man. His channel, his podcast, please go and subscribe to him. Please go follow him. He's doing amazing stuff, and he has so many special guests on there and other guests of other different voices around Arsenal and around the club. So make sure you go check that out. And of course, Positive Dan from Gooners Therapy. Go check him out. Go check out his channel as well. It's Dan and Dan. Do you know what? There's a lot of Dans in this space. I'm realising. There's a lot of Dans. Positive Dan, there's also Negative Dan in there. Gooners Therapy, they talk all things Arsenal as well. Go check out their channel. Go subscribe if you can as well. Thank you for both joining me.
Big up, bro.
Let's hope Arsenal get a win this Saturday. Take care.
You know the karma of the night? I don't know if you guys saw this watching the game back, right? So when Declan Rice is taking the corner, Chelsea fans are effing and blinding at him. He whips the corner and Ben White scores, and you just see all their face like, oh no, what have we done there?
The Arsenal fans yesterday were unbelievable from start to finish. Hilarious with the Thomas Frank song.
Thomas Frank's a silver member. What made me laugh about that? He's not even a gold member, right?
Thomas Frank is a silver member.
Guys, you spent over £2 billion on your squad. And 2 guys are missing, 3 guys are missing, and what? You're crying.